Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Bestseller Books. My name is Cynthia Johnson, and I am your host today, joined by Michael Gelb, the world's leading authority on the application of genius thinking to personal and organizational development. Michael has written 18 books, and you can find them all online. We'll give you his website and his book website after this. But today we are here to talk about his latest, Walking Well. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Uh, Great to be with you. I have to first start by asking 18 books. um, do you have a formula now down, or is every book different?
Everyone's different. Everyone is the result of a sense of a calling and inspiration, something I'm passionately interested in that I want to learn about because writing a book is a great way to learn about something. And it's always something that I think will uplift humanity, that will enrich people's lives, and that I'm passionate about sharing, usually in some kind of seminar or keynote, as well as in the book.
Fantastic. And coming up on your 18th book, here you are, Walking Well. Uh, can you give us just the first introduction, the elevator pitch for the book?
Well, it wouldn't be an elevator pitch. We'd ask you to take the stairs because we want you to walk more. But the essence of it is it's kind of like everybody thinks they know how to drive. You live in LA, so you can clearly see every time you go out on the road that they're not as good as they think they are, that they're unconscious about how they drive. And if you've ever taken a professional driving course, which I have done, you get humbled and realize, oh my God, I could drive so much more effectively, not just carefully, but just use the machine so much better. So same thing with walking, is everybody takes it for granted. They think I already know how to walk, but what if you could walk with a little more comfort in every step? And that becomes increasingly important every decade of your life. So we know that walking is, as Hippocrates said, the best medicine. It's been praised throughout history as the secret of inspiration, of managing stress, of working out a problem. The ancient saying, solvitur ambulando, solve it while walking. Almost everybody knows that anything that's bothering you, you go for a good walk, especially in nature, and you're more likely to have an insight or a breakthrough. But what's different today is we have the scientific research that backs this up, and we can optimize literally every step that you take. And that's what the book is about, how to do that.
And you say specifically around trees. Is that outdoors? It is the environment extremely important or an added benefit?
Well, it's an added benefit because, I mean, obviously it's better to walk in nature. It's better to walk around trees. It's better to walk on a sacred walk. One of my CEO clients recently went on a pilgrimage, the Santiago de Compostela pilgrimage walk, where you walk 20 miles a day in the sacred path of others and great saints and aspirants and so on and so forth. And he called me up. He said, can you give me a quick private course in your book? He said, I'm taking you with me on this trip, but I wanted, he pays me money, so he, he can call me up anytime. That's what I do for my clients and my friends. So yeah, I gave him some guidance. But what I love the most about what we've shared in this book is you can make every walk a sacred pilgrimage. You can make every walking into your office, walking to go get your car, walking into the supermarket, by applying the really simple methodology that we share. Just in the first set, you'll change your walk from the first chapter. The problem is I'd love to share it with you and everybody and say, here's how to do it, except, and I'll just back up a little bit and tell you, I love walking. I've been studying movement. I'm a teacher of the Alexander technique. I'm a fifth degree black belt in Aikido. I teach Tai Chi. And walking has been one of my favorite pastimes for my whole career. I've taken my clients for walks over the years to do problem solving. But my co-author is a kinesthetic genius. And what he did, he came up with a sequence to reconsider how you walk and take the unnecessary stress out of your step. And in order to really get it, I can tell you what the sequence is, but you have to actually practice it. So we tell you in the book, here, the first principle is just explore your walking. Like, what are your preconceptions about it? What have you been told about it? What are your ideas about it? Go for a walk and just explore those. Come back and write in your journal or discuss. Then we unpack some of those, and there's some common ones that people have. A lot of them are gender-based, walk like a man. I mean, that's a famous song. Walk like Clint Eastwood or, John Wayne, or, they're more current exemplars, but it hasn't really changed. Or walk like a lady, walk like a runway model. Or as people really struggle to try to find out who they are and reject old stereotypes of gender, walk the opposite of how you thought you were supposed to walk. But either way, people are walking in a conditioned way and not usually in a natural way. So we get people to first look at their conditioning. Then we invite you to let your feet come down any way they want and do a walk where you experiment with that. And it's it feels a little floppy. It feels a little strange, but it gets people to realize, oh, I've been controlling my feet. I've been imposing some sort of conditioning on every step I take. So then the next thing we ask them to do is, okay, bring your attention to your foot and ankles and notice if with every step, notice if you're slightly bracing for impact. And everybody, I haven't found anybody who hasn't noticed, oh my God, just before my feet come down, I'm bracing for impact. So then, of course, we invite you to explore unbracing. And it goes on from there. But when you unbrace, it's going to change every step you take. People say, oh my God, my foot just spread out on the ground. Oh, I felt more connected to Mother Earth. I felt the whole earth supporting me for the first time. So all the stuff you read about in books on walking meditation, but how do you experience that viscerally from the ground up in your actual body? So that's what the sequence does. And we take you through it. We've distilled it to its essence. So you can get it just from reading the book, but then we also created a free website with videos and illustrations and Q&A to help support our readers.
It at first was astonishing that you went from creativity to walking over the course of these many books you've written. And now, after you describe the impact piece, it's like a light bulb has gone off in my head, because are you saying there's a correlation between how you show up in a given situation and the walking?
You just got it.
Wow.
The whole thing is about, how do you walk through life? How do you walk through life? How do you show up? That's what the book's really about.
Oh, so you've given this physical expression that we can visualize, right? We can all picture someone walking, and we can all picture someone bracing for impact, but we rarely watch ourselves walk, right? It's something someone else does in front of us. Oh, interesting. Okay, you have to back up a little. Did you quite literally stumble upon this?
Well, what happened was I was going out to New Mexico for my first post-pandemic trip out there. I used to live there. I love it. It's the land of enchantment. And my co-author is an old friend. He was a scholarship gymnast to Penn State many years ago, and then was a professional modern dancer. became the director of an Alexander Technique training school, trained many teachers, is a Tai Chi guy, a Aikido guy, tango guy. I mean, he's done it all. But he's put all of his focus, his life passion into walking for years. And what he told me was that when he moved to New Mexico, he was about 40 years old, and there's a famous hill, 4.5 miles on a slope upwards. It's a place where George O'Keeffe used to like to go and walk, and it's near where he lives. So he would walk up that hill, and now that he's 74, he said, I walk it faster and with less effort than I did when I was 40. And I'd like to share with you what I figured out that allows me to do that. He said, because I think there might be a book idea here. Because he knows that at that time I had written 17 other books. So when I met him, I was open-minded, but I was also skeptical because I thought I knew a lot about it. So I said, treat me like a beginner, show me what you got. And he gave me the first lesson, which is, the first section of the book. And I just said, oh my God, we can change the world. This is millions and millions of people consider walking to be their primary form of exercise. And we could help a lot of those people.
In a past life, I studied stunt choreography. So I know a little bit about Tai Chi. And I did something called the standing series. I'm sure if you're familiar, but it's an all day. You have to stand and you move just slightly over the course of hours. um, and at the time doing it, I remember thinking, this is awful. Like, this is terrible. But still to this day, I would say finishing that day was one of the greatest achievements of my life. And it was the slowest day. So is part of this also about just slowing down in general? What does pace have to do with the discussion?
So you know this from studying Tai Chi. The secret of Tai Chi is to slow the movement down as slow as you can possibly do it. Now, why is that? Because Tai Chi is a martial art. So in a fight, I'm not going to go like this. I'm going to do whatever I have to do, and I'm going to do it really quickly. But why do we train so slowly? Because when you go as slow as you can, any flaw in your balance is revealed. Anything that you're covering up by speeding up is revealed. And you have to strengthen and rebalance at a deeper level. Now, the same thing seems to happen with our walking students, is at first, we're going to slow you down because you're going to bring more attention to every step you take. Not because we tell you to, because you're going to get so curious. I mean, I'm curious. Every step I take, I am tuning into this and practicing what we wrote in the book because it's just delicious. It makes every step more sumptuous. The connection with the ground is so much more magnificent. So what I found myself, and my students find the same thing, Bruce will say the same thing, I'm sure, is that when you start practicing this, you'll slow down your pace because you're bringing more attention. But when you get it going, you'll walk faster than you ever did before with less effort. Because there's a thing that happens in natural walking, which is what we're really teaching, is how to get out of your own way, how to let go of habits that you either got from conditioning or trauma or injury, how to let go of those by raising your kinesthetic awareness, understanding the natural biomechanical functioning of your body, and then letting it operate. So the word to walk comes from the old English and Welsh, wialcan. And what it means is to roll along. And when you get natural walking, you're just rolling along. It happens by itself. It's just a fabulous feeling. You kind of disappear. There's no effort in your walking. And that's happens to also be much quicker, but it doesn't feel like you're hurrying at all.
My mind is a little bit blown. As you know, because I can see it now, just the even the way you move your arms, right? It's not just the impact of the feet, right? There's do you talk on your toes? Do you lean forward? There's so many different. Have you seen people's walk drastically change doing this?
Well, so I was telling you before about the Omega Institute here where
Uh-huh.
I'm in Rhinebeck, and I taught a weekend seminar there in walking well. And one of the women who attended the seminar came to me and said, I've just had an amazing experience. So we put it on video. So, well, tell the camera because it sounds cool. Let's share it with the world. She said that she had chronic pain in her legs. And she said she realized, what she was doing was what she'd been taught to do, was strike the ground with her heel and then let her toe fall. She had been pounding the pavement to try to get in her 10,000 steps for years. And from what we shared with her about tuning into the natural way your feet want to move and unbracing your ankles and peeling along and letting the whole earth support you in every step, she said, I apologize to my feet for pounding them into the ground, for striking the earth, and I let them be. I unbraced. She said, and for the first time in years, my pain is gone from my legs. I can't believe it.
It's uh it's tension, right? It's attention is just you're at tension. You're at tension somewhere.
Unnecessary. We need the
Uh-huh.
right amount of tension in the right place at the right time. Where we get into trouble is if we don't have enough in one area, we have too much in another area,
Mm.
then we're out of balance. And we have tremendous language for describing sounds, music critics. We have tremendous language for describing sights. We have art critics. Even for tastes and smells. I love wine. I'm a wine critic, food critics, detailed vocabulary for gustatory and olfactory phenomena. But we don't really have that much of a sophisticated vocabulary when it comes to kinesthesia and proprioception. So what Bruce and I are devoted to doing is help enrich your vocabulary and your understanding and your attunement to your own sense of your body, your weight, position, and flow of movement, and the sense of where you are in space at any given time.
For those of who are listening, and me, could you define those two words that you just used?
Sure. Well, here's the simplest way to do it. We'll do this together. Uh,
Okay.
so actually, I'll do it because you probably need to keep your eyes open since you're running the show. So, but if I put my fingers out to the side, you can try this later. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to place my fingertips on my nose. Okay. So you notice I could do that. You could do that very easily too, right? Your kinesthetic sense is your sense of position and movement. So it's how you know where your fingertips are and to move them over here. Your proprioceptive sense, comes from the same root as proprietor. It's how you know those are your fingers, it's your nose, and it's how you know where your nose is. So these parts are moving, your nose stays where it is, and you can find them every time with your eyes closed because your proprioceptive and your kinesthetic senses really are almost indistinguishable. They work together to give us our sense of how do I know, say sit up poised in your chair. How do you know that you're doing that? How do you know that you're sitting? How do you know it's you? It's your proprioceptive sense. Say, yeah, feel your foot on the ground. Now feel the ground underneath you, right? The ground has a different sense than your foot. Your foot, that's my foot. The ground is an object, but this is me. This is a subject. That's your proprioceptive sense. It's a profound element of our identities that we utterly take for granted.
Wow. is th- is this something that can be done? I mean, this discovery, the walking, the figuring out, I mean, not just can it be done, should it be done with someone else who's pointing these things out to you? Or
If you can afford it. That's why we wrote the book. You can do it on your own. We know
well,
colleagues, yeah, who do private lessons, and we teach classes. We have a online class Bruce and I are doing together on November 2nd. People can go to the Walking Well website and register for that, and we will teach you how to do it. I'm teaching a class at the Kripalu Center at the end of November in beautiful Berkshires on a weekend. I'll be out in California. First, I'll be at Rancho La Puerta teaching this. If you want to come and have a spa weekend, that's a Christmas weekend, Christmas week, actually. And then the week after that, I will be in Malibu at the gorgeous Serra Retreat Center with my colleagues, and we're going to be teaching Walking Well every day while we walk overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It's so exquisite. So yeah, there's plenty. It's great to learn this in a group, learn it from Bruce, learn it from, we're training facilitators in our methodology. That's another thing we'll be offering. People can sign up for that also at the Walking Well website. But we really aim to write the book so that you could read it, do the exercises in the sequence, do the practices. They're not really exercise, they're just awareness practices. And you can get it just from reading the book. You don't even need to go to the website and look at the illustrations, because that's, I've learned a few things in writing all these books, and aim is to write so clearly and make it almost impossible to misunderstand, so that you'll go out and you'll really get it.
I could, I think of all of the walking groups that are out there, and it would be great if one of my walking partners understood this and could say, hey, you're a little heavy on the big toe, like.
Oh no, just to get well, the other thing is, it's great to walk together, as we know. And there's a whole chapter 8 is all about how to walk together, how to take your team out for a walk, if you're in an organization, how to walk with a friend, how to work in a relationship to work out issues, for negotiation, problem solving, even how to walk your dog. We go into all of it, because walking together is just so wonderful. But the first 7 chapters focus on walking solo, because as you rightly understand, once you get this, then it's easier to share it, obviously. Having said that, it's great to go through the book with a partner, a friend, or your walking group, and all do the practices and then compare notes.
I want to say I heard a story from a longtime mentor of mine that Steve Jobs actually would take walking meetings every day, and I think there's a few others out there that do the same. Are there people that you can think of when you think of walking well?
Well, I think of my co-author first.
Okay.
I'm serious, because he's a master of this approach, and he's probably out walking right now. That's why I'm talking to you. He said, I want to go for a walk. You talk to her.
Yeah. He's got his priorities down. So and then how much time does someone need to commit to this, really?
If you want to learn this, here's the good news. It's not like a thing, oh, you have to commit time. If you want to get it, put in a minimum of 12 minutes a day of focusing on what we teach you. But here's what's going to happen. If you do that, if you read the book and you do that, you're going to want to put in more time. It's not going to be, I don't like to do things that I don't want to do. I like to do things I love to do, that I'm passionate about, that are compelling, that are fun. So we wrote this, and the invitation in the book is to make every step more comfortable. We're not kidding. More vitality, really, action. So why wouldn't you do that? More inspiration. Hello. So the book will walk you through itself in such a way that you don't have to, I got to make a commitment to try to do this every. No, why would we do that to you? We wouldn't do that to ourselves.
No, that's great. That's good. That's good to know. Because is it this whole idea of, living a sedentary lifestyle or not getting up enough, we can fall into it very easily.
Yes.
It's an easy thing to fall into. I think for anybody, anywhere, any size, any shape, you just sit too long. And the next thing you know, you're sitting. It's like all day. So it's good to know that like 12 minutes or there's, some structure around setting realistic expectations.
Sure, we teach you in chapter 4 is called The Four Dignities of Humanity. And this is from ancient Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist lineages. Pretty much every tradition in the world has an understanding that the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you lie down, and the way you walk are the way you live. Because if you think about it, that's pretty much all we do. We sit, we stand, we lie down, we walk, and we transition between those states. So we do spend some time and thought guiding people to get more out of sitting, more out of lying down, more out of just standing, and that will help you enjoy walking more. There's even a marvelous practice that you can do while you're sitting at your desk. I'm actually doing it right now, called soleus push-ups, that enlivens your whole metabolism and helps to counter the effects of having to sit for long periods of time, which many of us do. If you're doing Zooms all day as part of your job, or you have to sit in long meetings, it's good to know that you can still raise your metabolism, get your blood circulating by raising and lowering your soleus muscle, really just lifting your heel. I'm doing it now. Uh,
Oh,
so I also, my my desk turns into a standing desk, so I stand a lot of the time when
yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Wow. Now you do learn that you learn these things also in Tai Chi. This again, it's you think it's the fast motions that get you there. No, no. This is a very eye-opening conversation and a very eye-opening book. Again, the visualization, the way you describe it, and sometimes hearing, this is why we do this, hearing from the author, and especially since you have a co-author that you had your own aha moment, and I see that as you're talking, and I hear it in your voice. Um, so for those listening, first 18 books. We're gonna read Walking Well. Then what are we reading?
thanks for asking. Well, my most popular book is called How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci: 7 Steps to Genius Every Day. It's in 25 languages. It's about how to really actually follow Leonardo's guidance for a more beautiful life and to develop your creativity. I went deep into his notebooks with the question, what's he trying to teach us? And translated this into contemporary terms. It came out in 1998, but it still sells really well all over the world because it's a universal message from the universal genius. And then the other books are a lot of different interests. I wrote one about Edison. I wrote one about the 10 greatest geniuses. I wrote one about improving your mind as you get older. I wrote one about wine and creativity. I wrote one about Qigong and Tai Chi and creativity.
Mm,
I wrote, oh yeah, this one's really important. If anybody's in business, the Healing Organization, Awakening
mm,
the Conscience of Business to Help Save the World. That's about becoming a healing leader and how raising the consciousness of business can indeed make a difference, because that's where the power and the money is really concentrated. And then if people want to go out and do what I've been doing for 40 or 50 years, they can read Mastering the Art of Public Speaking. So I write about that. Like I told you, I write whatever I have been most passionate about. Leonardo da Vinci was my childhood hero. So eventually I wrote about how to think like him.
I almost said, "Where have you been?" all my life, but I've read that book. I actually, in my book, I wrote about Leonardo da Vinci because he wrote the first resume.
That is correct. That's how my book opens is
Yeah. I
most illustrious Lord, having considered and seen the proofs of others who could count themselves as masters of war, engineers, let me, with all humility, share with you the following. And then he rocks the world of the Duke and gets the job.
Yes, yes. And when you write it, and then I felt so validated when I read your book. I was like, yes, because I was working with creatives who didn't want to have a resume. It felt too corporate. I was like, you're an artist? Well, let me tell you, it took an artist to get here. So all around amazing, incredible work. It's such a privilege to talk to you, and we we all need to be reading Walking Well. I think the timing, your discovery, um, is really profound. And where can we get the book Walking Well?
Great. Well, people can just go. The best thing I would recommend is go to walkingwell.com so you can read all about the book. You can order the book and you can sign up for the course. Uh, it will take you to Amazon. So if you're already on Amazon, just boom, get Walking Well there. And please write a review because that really helps us. And we love independent bookstores. So if you have one near you, go ask them for Walking Well. And if they don't have it, tell them to get it
Yeah.
quick.
Or email me and I'll email you, and then we'll follow.
We'll get on their
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful speaking. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another best-selling books. I am Cynthia Johnson, your co-host, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.